My name is Michelle Wadsworth. I play the violin. I am an aspiring writer. Would love to have a book published someday. And I adore my family. They're my favorite people. So 2 years ago, my husband fell through our attic floor to the garage floor and broke his back and had a traumatic brain injury. He's now paralyzed from the waist down. When I got the call, I was at a meeting across town and had to hurry home, but I was 20 minutes away. And so I made a call to a friend. I felt prompted to call this certain person.
I'm Aubrey Grossen. I am a wife and mom to 4 beautiful babies. I'm a sunrise chaser, chocolate chip cookie lover, and I love gathering women to help strengthen them through Jesus Christ. My baby was about 9 days old and my husband got called as the bishop. And I was going through a really bad bout of postpartum depression and anxiety. I remember just feeling so abandoned by Heavenly Father because I felt like He was taking away my husband to go serve in the church when I really needed him. And I was depressed, and to feel like, the Lord was calling my husband to go serve as bishop felt almost like a slap to the face, because I felt like God didn't care that I was suffering. Every time I would go, to a meeting or whatever it was, I just did not feel the Spirit. I didn't feel it like I had. It was very, very dark. And I also felt this pressure of being the bishop's wife. I had to be, have my church face on and be perfect, and I was just not that. So during that time, it was easy to just not go to church because I had my newborn, so people just assumed I was home with the baby.
My name is Susan Padilla. I am from El Salvador, small country in Central America. We left everything we have in El Salvador, our jobs, our business, our family, and just got here with nothing, just pieces of luggage, and that's it. It took about 6 months for us to get to Utah. And when we finally got here, we were able to book a place for Airbnb app. And I'd never used this app before, and I had no clue how it works. We were supposed to be out of this place at 4 p.m. That was what I thought. And we're supposed to be out at noon. So we were just praying and say, what are we going to do? I don't know anybody, and I have no transportation. And the nearest park was 1 mile away. So my kids and I were just making little trips to take everything to the park.
My name is Rachel Bonner. I grew up in Texas and Brazil. I'm the mother of 6 beautiful children, and I love to bake. January 1st, we woke up and our baby wasn't breathing. And we called 911 and did what they said to do, and the paramedics came. Nothing could be done. Joshua was 9 months old when he passed. He just exuded love. That's the main thing that I think of when I think of my baby is love.
It was like an inspiration. All of a sudden, like the Lord told me, call Mandy Taylor. Call this person. She has a nursing background, but so do lots of people in our neighborhood, and she's not currently practicing as a nurse. But I found out why when I called her, and found out that she was turning into our neighborhood right then and was able to be at my husband's side in 20 seconds, within 20 seconds of my call. And that's when I knew that the Lord orchestrated that moment for me. My friend Mandy arrived about the same time as the paramedics, and that was such a blessing for my children. She was able to kind of be with them and be an anchoring presence for them, an adult presence, to give them someone to lean on when their dad was really struggling.
And I remember we had a sweet neighbor who was like, you know what, I'll take your kids. Like if you just want to have them ready, I'll have my teenage girls come pick them up and they will walk them to church. They would knock at the door And my little boy would be like, Mom, the angels are here. And they just felt that hope when they would come. And the angels would take my kids to church. And then they just kept doing it over and over and over again, kept taking them to church.
There was this guy that he was during his break, and he was working from home because of COVID. And he saw some kids and a lady passing by just to make it to the park. And I remember that he approached us and said, hey, do you need anything? And he said, well, you guys can stay at my place and just hang out for some hours until your husband comes and get you. So we stayed with this family, and they gave us lunch and pretty much just the comfort, because we were having so many things going in their life. I just feel that getting strangers to your house, that doesn't happen.
Joshua died on January 1st, and then we were scheduled to go on this cruise on the end of January. So we went on this excursion to this adventure park, and they had all kinds of cool things, ATVs, and they had a zip line, and they had camels, and they had e-bikes, and just lots of different things. And at one point there was one couple that stayed behind to do the e-bikes with Conlon and I, and while our friends went off and did the camels. And so we got to know Jen and Landon Coleman and connect with them, just really hit it off, right, as kind of friends, and then talked a little bit more, and it turned out that they had lost a son, also a baby. They were answers to prayers that we didn't know that we were even saying, I think.
All the tender mercies that I've seen along the way, it was when I started calculating all those miracles that I realized that was one of the really significant ones to me, because it alleviated such a burden in the midst of such panic. My friend Mandy was my miracle.
For me, it was like a break. I felt like that was a service. Like I was in postpartum. I dealt with sickness, and I was dealing with a lot. And those cute teenagers were my miracle. Every Sunday, they were my hope. They were the sunshine.
Even though we have no place to stay, we have no food, we have nobody here, nobody's here to help you. You think, but God always provides a way. Some strangers were my miracle that day.
It truly was a manifestation of divine orchestration, that out of all those thousands of people on that boat, that us four chose that excursion, that us four decided to stay back and ride e-bikes, and that we connected in that way, that we were these kindred spirits that were going to become great friends, and that we had had that similar heart-wrenching experience. Jen Coleman was my miracle, and one of the kindest gifts that my heavenly parents have ever given me.